Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. I'm so excited to have you here today because we are going to get into the question that I've heard so many people ask. People have reached out directly. People have been posting on social media asking the question of, how do I maintain motivation, or how do I get back on track? How do I find motivation and positivity if I've lost it? It's a common question. We all have different seasons and different periods of life where we end up in this moment of, we feel like we are completely unmotivated, or we find ourselves down and we are just hoping we can find a way back. So first, I want to remind you, you are not alone. Second, I want to remind you, it's a season. All right, this is temporary. It's okay to feel that way, and just know that you're not going to be there forever. First off, if you're asking the question, you're already looking for resources to get out of it. So you're being proactive in that. But today's episode is specifically going to help focus on, how do we answer that question? How do we find the motivation? How do we find the positivity? How do we get those back in our lives if we've either lost them or feeling like we're never going to find them again, or if we're just in one of those rough seasons? Whatever it is, that's what today is focused on. So I want to focus first on a couple of the counterproductive things that we do that help keep us in that season that we don't want to be in. So some of those counterproductive things, the first one is, people are not 100% motivated all the time. But what happens is we see the highlight reel on social media. All right, everybody knows the highlight reel because what we do is we post our best moments. We post the good things going on in our lives. And it's meant to be a good thing, but what happens if you are in a rough season? And then you're looking out and you're seeing your friends or your coworkers or all these other people, and they're just constantly posting just motivational, positive things, great things going on in their lives. And you're seeing that and you're comparing your journey to theirs. First off, you need to recognize and know that you all may not be in the same season. And that's okay. Second off, you need to recognize that they may be in the same season that you're in, or they may not be motivated, but they're posting a positive thing. And that can be tied to multiple things. Either they're putting on a facade, or even though they're going through a rough period, they're trying to focus on the positive in the moment. And I can tell you specifically, a friend was reaching out. I posted a Motivational Monday quote, and that is something I have created as a habit. So every Monday, I make it a point to make sure that I post a motivational quote, whether I'm motivated or not that day. So that does a couple things. It allows me to stick to a habit that I have, but it helps me find motivation or have a reminder of that I want to be motivated, even if I'm not. And I also find a sense of purpose and knowing that somebody else out there may not be motivated, may be having a rough day, may just need a reminder. Maybe they're motivated already, but just a reminder to stay there. And so I post those motivational Mondays, regardless of if I'm motivated or not. But that's all you see. You don't see how I'm feeling behind that. You just see the motivational quote and you think, wow, he just stays positive and motivational all the time. And it's not the case. So the thing is I created a habit out of something that helps foster an environment of positive emotion. It doesn't mean that I'm positive or motivated when I post it. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. Don't compare yourself to other people's journeys. Don't compare yourself to that highlight reel that you're seeing. Okay, so recognize that and stop comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy. Now, number 2, this is very important to learn some self-awareness. What is your relationship with alcohol? Because alcohol is a depressant. Now, a lot of people incorporate drinking into their social activities, into their life, and in the moment of drinking, it may feel good. Your inhibitions are lowered, and you think that this is something that's making you feel better, and maybe it does in that moment. But then how do you feel the next day? Maybe you have a hangover. or maybe you're feeling slower, groggier, you have less mental clarity. I have found that at times that I've drank, I not only feel bad the next day, but I can feel it for multiple days afterwards in terms of how it's affecting my attitude, how it's affecting my mental clarity, how it's affecting my emotional state. So there's a lot of things tied to alcohol in your life. So I set a goal for myself in 2024. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking in 2024 through at least the first half of the year, the majority of the year, not even for the social activities because it's not a need. So identify what alcohol is in your life and what your relationship is with alcohol, because that may be something that is impacting your emotional state. It may be something that's impacting your mindset and your mental health, and you don't even realize it because you have made alcohol a normal habit in your life. So identify what your relationship was with alcohol, build some self-awareness around it, and identify if that's something that you need to reduce or cut out in order to help you get back on track. Now I want to get to the positive stuff. Let's get to how we find some motivation, how we get on track to regaining motivation. And a great place to start is with identifying a goal. Find something that you want to go after, that you want to work toward, that you want to start taking action to achieve, something that's going to improve your life. And it doesn't mean that things are going to turn around overnight, but what typically happens if we identify a goal that we want to start working toward, we almost automatically start to find a sense of motivation and starting towards something new. You can see that fresh goal in your mind. You can think about what it's going to feel like to achieve that goal, and you start to see that, and you find a sense of motivation and purpose in getting started toward it. Now, with that, once you have the goal in place, in order to stay on track, in order to keep going toward the goal, you also have to identify your why. Why you want to go after the goal. The catch line of the goaltending podcast is where your why is bigger than your excuses. You have to create a powerful why, something that is going to drive you to get that goal. And so how do we get the powerful why? You have to ask why it is your why. So what's the why to the why? And that means, for example, let's say you say your why is your kids. That's fantastic. It's a common why, and that is something great to drive you. But what does that mean to you? Because not everybody has the same background, the same experience, the same emotion tied to family and why that is your why. So really ask yourself, why is my why my kids? What does that mean to me? Because, people, maybe you had a good relationship with your parents growing up. And maybe in recognizing that you want to continue to foster an environment of good parenting and a good relationship with your kids, maybe you didn't have a good relationship with your parents growing up. And maybe you want to change that. Maybe you want to be a different piece of your family tree in changing the relationship with your kids. There's so many different ways that you can go. That's one example. But why is it your why? Once you have a goal to go after, and a strong why behind it, you're on track to get started. That's going to help you with finding that motivation. So while you're in the motivational period, that is when you start to create micro changes in your habits. So if you've read the book, or if you want to read the book Atomic Habits, it's a fantastic place to get started. And he talks about those micro changes, but you need to start making adjustments in the things that you do daily that are productive toward reaching that goal. So when it comes to making those changes in your habits, it's best to do that during your periods of high motivation. So you find the motivation in getting started toward a goal. You make some adjustments to your habits. You start to get the productive things in place. That way, whenever you start to lose motivation and that motivation fades, the habits are already in place. And you can rely on consistency and just leaning on the habits that are already become natural to you during those rougher periods until you're able to find motivation again. So create your habits in your high motivation periods And then that way, when it goes back down, you have something in place to stick to help you with discipline, to help you with consistency, so that you're able to, at the very least, stay on track in terms of being productive towards your goal, especially those longer term goals. And then when it comes to the positivity, the mindset, the people that you see who just appear to be, positive or motivated all the time, those people are typically consistently doing some form of gratitude practice, or meditation, or gratitude journaling, or even verbal expression of gratitude. There's so many different ways to incorporate gratitude and positivity into your life. The people that you see that appear to be positive and motivated all the time, typically they have built habits in place that help to maintain that positivity and motivation for longer periods. So it comes with consistent practices and those types of things. So let's start with meditation. There's different ways that you can do that. You can specifically plan, 10 or 15 minutes into your mornings or your evenings before bed, and you can just close your eyes and focus on a moment of gratitude with your eyes closed. Focus on something that you're thankful for. And as you focus on that and you close your eyes, and maybe you do some deliberate breathing where you inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, and you just take a minute to breathe, to focus on the present, to focus on a moment of gratitude. That's a great way to meditate and to get your mind focused on something that you're thankful for, to start to build that. Then you have things like gratitude journaling. The last episode that I did with Denise Metzger, she had a great point about gratitude journaling. A lot of people talk about writing down 3 things that you're thankful for at the end of the day. And that's great. It's a fantastic practice. I highly recommend it because it does force your mind to go to and remember and focus on things that you're thankful for, the good things that are going on in your life. Now, Denise pointed out a great point that she would do that in the mornings before anything has happened for the day, to specifically focus on and think about things you are thankful for already, so that you're starting your day off already in a gratitude mindset, in a thankful mindset, knowing what things you appreciate and are grateful for in your life. So that is a great practice in itself, either in the evening, in the morning, both, whatever works for you. It's great to spend some time focusing on gratitude and those positive emotions. And then verbal expression. There are things that you're thankful for, relationships that you're thankful for, things that are happening in your life. Do you recognize them in the moment? Do you actually express it? Do you actually tell somebody that you're thankful for them? Sometimes it can be as simple as that. Just, man, I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you, for always being present. Thank you for showing up when we need you, when we ask you to, or even when it's just to hang out. Thank you for always being a good listener. When I need somebody to lean on, you do a great job of that. So actually follow through on the feedback. What are you thankful for and why, what it is? It not only helps your mind to focus on the gratitude, what you're thankful for, positivity, it also enhances that relationship because now you reinforced it with the person you're saying that to. So verbal expression is excellent for that as well. And those are great practices, but if you only do it once or twice, it's not going to have a real impact or a long-term impact. So take those things, identify what works for you, and practice it consistently. Make it a habit to do that every day for 30 days. Start there. Say, I'm going to do it every day for this month. And then see what that does for you during that month. And I highly encourage you to take it longer than that, but by starting to build it in, just that one small change that starts to focus your mind on gratitude, on positivity, make that small change and make it consistently. And as you stick with it, you will start to notice your mind is more easily gravitating toward the positive. You'll start to notice the good things going on in your day more easily. As something happens where you may have overlooked it in the past, you'll start to notice it in the moment. Those are some small things you can do to help with that positivity, to help with that motivation. So I want to address it right now. I'm talking directly to you. You are not alone. It's okay to have these periods where you struggle with motivation, but take some action on today's episode. Set yourself a goal. Find a why behind it. And that will help to get you started with some motivation. It can be anything that you want to work toward. What's important to you in your life? Find it. Find the why behind it. Start taking some action. That's going to help with that positivity. Get those habits in place, and then start to do some of the practice on gratitude work, on positive mindset. And the more consistently you build those things in, you will get on track. I want to encourage you to stick to your goals in 2024. It's still early in the season, but statistically, a lot of people have stopped already. A lot of people already got off track from what their goals are. It's not too late to get back on track. It's not too late to find it if you didn't get started yet. So I want to encourage you, take today's episode, take action. Now, I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey today. Thank you for tuning in. Please go like, subscribe, share this, because it will definitely help somebody in their journey. I encourage you to share comments, thoughts, questions, to join the conversation, and let's grow.